Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video, we're just going to have a look at the Cosmic Gourd. Is it gourd? I think that's going to be the title of the video. So, just to run through what it does. First things first, deals 210% plus 69,000 relic damage to the enemy with the lowest HP, so it is single target. The next passive that it does have that you will unlock at 1 star, after casting the relic, it reduces the enemy's accuracy rate by 10% for 2 rounds. Now, this can be very effective in sort of the Ethereal's build and potentially the Doom's build as well. So it is an Ethereal and a Doom's relic, and it is a burst type relic, so this goes in slot 2, and it is for both Ethereals and Dooms, and the reason for being Ethereals and Dooms is primarily because it functions as a support mechanic for the 2 other units. So the 2 new units, Dahlia and Wukong, this is effectively a support tool for them after the season has ended. So if you do have copies of Wukong and Dahlia and you would like them to be functional or have a little extra support after this season is done, because when this season is done they will no longer have the switch mechanic embedded in their attacks for the season. So what I mean by that is whenever an Elysian takes action, or whenever Dahlia or Wukong take action within season content this time round, they will swap. Triggering that swap will trigger their passives, making them much stronger, whereas outside of seasonal content it doesn't trigger all too often, so you don't get the same sort of effect. This gourd helps alleviate that effect, but what this lowering accuracy can do, if you are on an Ethereal's team, it does give an additional layer of survivability. So not only will you have the damage reduction, or the 5 or 10% damage reduction, depending on what types of relics that you've got, or what synergies that you've got as well, but it will also alleviate the it'll help not get hit, which is a big factor with the Ethereal team, and also a relatively big factor with the Doom's team as well, because your reflect damage will still proc even if the enemy misses. So even if they do no damage to you and they miss, you will still do the reflect damage, and if you've got Doris on the team, you'll do the reflect damage first, then they'll miss, then you'll do more reflect damage after that. So it does add to the overall survivability of the team. It's a new effect. We've not really seen lowering accuracy of enemies before, so it can be very effective. Now, the next ability that we have, it's a link skill. So after casting the relic, the positions of all surviving allies in the team will immediately be randomized 1 time, and the number of resets increases 2 times, and the number of resets increases to 3 times if you get it up to 8 stars and 6 stars respectively. Now, what that means is everybody will change places. Don't know if you've seen the meme from Futurama with Alice in Wonderland. Everybody change places. Yeah, it's very much like that. And for normal gameplay, if you do have a set lineup, if you want your team to stay exactly where they are, then this relic is not for you. This relic will reset all of the positions, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, the final ability, the one that I've not unlocked and I think is essential for this particular relic. After casting the relic for 2 rounds, all buffs received by our allies are doubled. So if you receive 1 stack of HP increase, you will then receive 2 stacks after the gourd has gone off. That will be for rounds 1 and rounds 2. If you are using sort of a give yourself a 100 relic energy for your first relic. So this is going to get mental, this one. And the duration of the effect increases to 3 rounds if you get it to 7 stars. Best to get it to 3 stars, I would suggest, if you're going to get this relic. As you can see, I've only got it at 2 stars, and I'm a bit gutted about that. So I will be pushing. I only need 41 more relic shards to get this to 3 stars, so I'll be pushing for that at any opportunity that I can get, and then I can go ahead and test that out. Now the final one down here is just the seasonal contents. If you do have a 1-star copy of it, increases max HP of all allies by 10% in Foggy Coliseum and Clash Domain. So that is a passive effect. Even if you don't use the Gourd, you will still get that 10% increase. So, you know, it is kind of worth it for this season to pick up a copy of the relic, just so that you've got the additional survivability, the additional 10% HP. So let's jump into some action with it. First place we're going to go to stage 1. Stage 1 of floor 300. That's the team that I was using. In fact, let's show this team off. So this is the team that I was using, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to put chest in here. And the reason that I'm going to put chest in here is because it will double the triggers of the Gourd. And what we want to do is probably increase HP as much as possible, because we are running Ophelia as well. So let's jump into some gameplay with it, and we'll just show off how the Gourd works. Bear with me. We'll add the relic animations on. Just because it's a new relic. We'll see whether or not that actually kicks in for this battle, or if we need to jump into another one. Yes, it has kicked in. We are seeing these relic animations now. We might see a lot of them. So we get double chest activation. The reason that I chose chest is because it doubles the relic activations potentially if you have a number of different factions within your lineup. So everybody will go ahead and change places. So now, as you can see, Dalia's on the front row with Atrops, and Wukong, Astrid and Ophelia are all on the back row. This can be quite effective. Oh, looks like they're going in slow motion. Yeah, I think they are. Shame. Probably because we changed the relic animation. But as you can see, Wukong gets his double super off because of Astrid. Astrid's passive ability allows for a double activation of the super. And we get Dahlia. Yeah, it is going in slow motion. So Dahlia to finish off, Wukong to get his triggers in. And this is how the team will effectively function after the reset. So after reset is done for the next season, this is how the team lineup will go. And I think in order to keep this team relevant, you will require a copy, or 2 copies of the Gourd to give the lower accuracy, and also to activate the switch. And especially if all buffs are doubled, it can be a very powerful effect. So we do get another relic activation. I really want to see the double activation. I want to see the double switch from this Gourd. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that now. So like we said, it's single target, and we are going in slow motion. But it has triggered Wukong, and he has switched with the front row as well. So we get that first one, and then we get Wukong to go ahead and finish things off. He is 100% a finisher, but I do think he needs this Gourd to function properly. For me personally, that's just how I see it. Now it's a shame that they've built him that way. It's a shame that he's so reliant on the seasonal synergy, but it is what it is. So let's go ahead and build a team around him. We'll go and take these out. In fact, we could probably keep the HP in, but let's go you. So this is a team that you'd more run in Foggy Coliseum, so full ethereal build. I'll go ahead and add Master in. The reason that I'm going to add Master in is because we want the shield, or the Holy Shield trigger. So let's go ahead and see how Gourd functions in a team setup like this. Just a standard Ethereals team. You've got your your 4 royal units, 2 celestials, 2 deviant units, and then Katrina as well to provide additional shielding. And we'll just have to see, to be honest. So we do get the relic activation, Leviathan, which gets this silence on these, on Persephone and Themis, and this is going to be a much slower. Wukong's not going to do anywhere near as much damage as we've seen him do previously with these attacks. So yeah, as you can see, only 51,000. It's not the best, and he's not, he's not out damaging Eudora at this point. Potentially he will once we receive enough healing, so he converts, I think, 10% healing into attack up to a maximum of 100%, and that's with the unique runes that I've got for him. The unique deviant runes, they are Nyx's, they are borrowed, just because I thought it might be more prudent. I don't particularly run Nyx, and he's at the same star level as well. So we do get the execution, but unfortunately doesn't trigger Wukong. And as you can see, Wukong now on the back row, so effectively switching out with Eudora. It is a fun mechanic, and as well it can throw some confusion into the mix with these teams. So say for example somebody lines up a Nawi against your Eudora in PvP. Well, guess what? Eudora isn't going to be there 2 turns later, so it can sow confusion within the PvP environment, as well as giving that additional dodge chance, so you're not taking anywhere near as much damage as you were previously. And the higher the star level goes, the higher the dodge chance is, accuracy lowering rate of enemies. So see if Wukong can finish off here. No. Speaking of misses, let's see how much Eudora is taken off here. Not bad, and we do get the confused status applied because we do have Master on the team now. I think Wukong really has given Master another opportunity to jump onto the team here. So yeah, we'll see everybody switch up again. We'll see the Gourd in action. So again, not doing too much because it's only at 7 stars. It does trigger Wukong, so he does get the proc, and he does get the proc again. So we are finishing enemies off quite quickly here, and then Karnak to execute the rest of them. So it functions reasonably well, and it's not too much disruption, and can be used to your advantage if somebody is planning to sort of snipe your best unit. You can use the Gourd to switch the place of your best unit with another unit. Again, it's random, so it is completely randomized, so not something that you should really rely on, but it is there. So we'll build a Dooms team now. I think this will be absolutely fine. Could potentially change the relics up a little bit as well, in that if we put scales in to work with Aishta and provide some additional healing, which this Dooms team does quite lack. So let's see how the Gourd functions in this setup now. With Dooms, typically, I don't think this Gourd is going to be altogether too relevant. I think primarily it is designed for Dahlia and Wukong to enable their switch triggers, because when the Gourd goes off, it does actually trigger Wukong, and it does trigger Dahlia as well. The reason for that is because it's not the Gourd that switches places. It's not the Gourd that activates that trigger. It is the unit themselves that triggers it. So it's very essential for Wukong's kit. Shame that's a miss. But it is essential for Wukong to trigger the switch himself, so he does get that holy shield. And it's the same for Dahlia. So when Dahlia triggers the switch, she will then copy all of the buffs. So let's have a look here. So everybody switched. and it didn't seem to do altogether too much, but when Dahlia switched with Lamia there, she did in fact copy those buffs as well, so just something to keep in mind. Shame that's a miss. Is what it is though. So we do get the scales here, which will provide the reset, and I think we should see Gourd pop off in a little bit now. Yeah, we've still got sort of 20 attacks to go. Yeah, there we go. End of turn relic energy. We'll just see how much damage we're doing. So not nearly as much as we have seen previously with Dahlia, but this team isn't designed to around Dahlia, and it isn't designed around doing big massive damage. It is designed partially around reflect. So we do see the switch again, and now we've got Halissa and Dahlia on the same row. I think that's going to be a very powerful combo on that front row. So you do get a lot of different combinations with this stuff that you would never really go for normally, but it is what it is. I think it's an interesting mechanic, but do I think that it's worth it for everyday gameplay unless you've got those two specific units? No, I don't think it is worth it. I think that you should really only be summoning for this to get the one copy of it for the accuracy lowering, but if you do have Dahlia and you have Wukong at relatively high star levels, sort of 3+ for both, then I think Cosmic Gourd is a worthy investment, and I think getting it up to 3 stars will be a much better investment of time, specifically because all buffs received by our allies are doubled, and in a team with Ophelia, in a team with Halissa, and in a team with sort of, if you really want to push the boat out, you can go Atrox, Astrid, Seraphina, Dahlia, Wukong, have all of those buffs activated and all of those buffs copied. You're going to be putting out a lot of damage, but again, it requires you to get it to 3 stars, and with its normal use case, I just can't justify getting it up to 3 stars. For the cost that it's going for, I think you'll pick it up over the course of the next couple of months, and I think you'll come to enjoy it. But if you force it through now, I don't think you will. It is what it is, though. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you think I've missed anything, if you want to see anything, any more of the Gourd, let me know. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you can like and subscribe to the channel, be really appreciated. We're going for 500 subs at the moment. Is what it is. Just hit that little subscribe button, would be really appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you have a great day.